Felix Vargas. Explain what happened and the fact that there's so much video of this. It was during rush hour?
Yes, it was. Crowded intersection, downtown Pasco. A gentleman is seen throwing rocks at cars. Police are called. There's a minor scuffle. And then you see the gentleman running across the street away from the police. The police draw their weapons and fire an initial volley of shots at him. It appears that they hit him. He gets to the other side of the street, he turns left, heads west. The police are in pursuit of him, 3-4 yards behind him. He's wounded. He turns around, appears to raise his arms up. He does not have a knife or a gun in his hand. And then he is effectively executed by the second volley of shots. In all, as you said, 17 shots were fired. The initial autopsy shows that 5 to 6 rounds made impact. We have a second autopsy which was performed by the family's forensic examiner, and that shows 7 to 8 impacts on the body. So that is what happened. It has really disturbed this community as never before.
And Mr. Vargas, what has been so far the reaction of local authorities in terms of the police officers involved?
Well, the authorities have promised to withhold judgment until a police investigation of the police shooting takes place. There's a special investigative unit which is set up, excluding the participation by the Pasco police, but that particular unit is talking to witnesses and doing their own investigation. They do emphasize that this will be an impartial, objective investigation. That is really the process, after which the Franklin County prosecutor will determine if there are sufficient grounds to levy charges against the 3 police shooters, and then the case will go to trial. There's also a call for a coroner's inquest after this particular investigation. It is simply not a credible investigation. I need to add that.
Why isn't it credible?
It's not credible because it involves a group of police officers who are brothers in uniform of the perpetrators of the shooting. It is not credible because in the last 6 months we've had 4 incidents, including this one. In the 3 previous incidents, the police have been exonerated. There is one other example of a shooting here 6 months ago of a young man also who suffered from mental illness, as did Antonio Zambrano, and also suffered from substance abuse. Similar circumstances, again shot with excessive use of force here by the police. There is an inherent conflict of interest here whenever you have a police organization investigating its own. We need a higher level investigation here, and that can only come from the Department of Justice. I hear that the community can have some reasonable grounds to believe that it will be independent. So it's important that we have this.
And in terms of the general state of relations in your part of the state, there's been obviously a growing population of Mexican, especially Mexican population, as a result of the large agriculture there in the area. Can you talk about the state of relations in Washington?
Well, the state of relations is really quite good. We do have a city of 68,000, 60% of which are Hispanic. They're drawn here primarily because of our very vibrant agricultural economy that we have here. And we really haven't had any incidents. There is some unease with the police because they don't have enough certified language speakers. It is a police made up primarily of Anglo policemen. So the relations are cordial. I wouldn't say they're warm. We have, as an organization, tried to improve that relationship and to build confidence within the community towards the police force. We met with the police chief 2 weeks before the incident to review his policies and procedures and to assure ourselves that we would not have an incident similar to the one in Ferguson. We received assurances that the training, the protocols were all in place to avoid this kind of situation. We're greatly disappointed, really, in the leadership of the police chief because we simply do not know if he knows what goes on within its police force.
You are a leading member of the community, a businessman, former military. Are you calling for the police chief to step down?
Not at this point. There are things that have happened which cause us to believe that he's not in control of his police force. It's premature to do that. I think we need to let certain investigatory practices proceed. We would like to see active engagement by the Department of Justice in this regard. While the police chief has, I think, some lack in credibility, we're not prepared to call for him to step down at this point. We may do so later on.